Hello and welcome back to the 7th episode of the 8-6 podcast, hosted by Half Past 8 and Swag Rabbit. On today's episode, we finally depart from my obsession with Japanese cars to talk about some American offerings, including potential hits at a 2028 Camaro. We'll see. We also take a trip across the pond to discuss the 911 GT3 Sport Cabriolet. And the classic sports car revival continues with Nissan talking about bringing back the Silvia. What, you thought we weren't going to talk about Japanese cars for an episode? But first, no more Mr. Nice GSP as the Ram 2500 ERV hits departments across the country. Oh boy, this thing looks nice. So, bottom line up front, Ram is building they have built, they're marketing a version of their 2500 for police departments. So it has, I don't think they've really done anything with the powertrain that you don't sell commercially. It seems like it's got kind of their standard engine. That's more your forte. But it's got a beefed up electrical system. It's got some chassis reinforcements. It's a bit more ruggedized and can handle more electronics because it's what you need for a modern police department. It recently passed the evaluation from the Michigan State Police, so they're probably going to start selling them. And can I say, I love this photo. Ram Law. Now that's striking.
That is a good looking truck.
That is a very good looking truck. I know it's a standard Ram, but it's just the stickers and everything they put on it. It looks great. I don't agree with the whole Ram is looking to change the perception of that a massive heavy duty pickup truck isn't the police cruiser that comes to mind. It's not like state police departments don't run pickup trucks. It happens, especially in the more rural areas. And I mean, I've seen a lot of talk about this online, people making memes about, using these to pit people. This isn't an Interceptor. I mean, it's not an Interceptor. The benchmarks aren't great. It's got
This is a 2-lane blocker. If you have a 2-lane road, you just pull that bitch across it and hope there are deep ditches on each side and you'll stop them fine.
Yeah, as the name suggests, it's an emergency response vehicle. This responds to an emergency. So when you've got flooding, you've got a tree down, semi-truck off the road, this is what you bring in. It's a little more durable and go a little bit more off-road. You're not chasing anybody down in it, but I mean, maybe you'll bring these things out for like if someone steals a dually or a U-Haul truck and your cruisers are having trouble pitting them, but I mean, it's got a 6.4 liter Hemi V8. They put an automatic in it, which makes sense. 410 axle ratio. I don't know how that holds up next to the normal 2500s, but that seems about average. The numbers 405 horsepower in a truck that weighs what? 4.5, 5K maybe? So
a lot.
Yeah, 0 to 60 is kind of impressive. 8.4 seconds. That's, for a big truck, pretty fast. But it's got no top end. No top end. 0 to 100 in 20 seconds. So
they shortened the gearing so it doesn't have the top speed anymore.
Yeah.
The engine and trans combination is actually the same one that my parents have in the driveway.
Nice.
It's same truck effectively. This one seems to be heavier because it's reinforced, and then it's got shorter gearing so that it'll get up to speed quicker.
Yeah.
To try to catch up to people.
Yeah, because it'll hit 60 in 8 seconds, and it's another 12 to do the next 40. And it's got an electronically limited top speed of 103. So yeah, you're not chasing anyone down with this thing.
My parents' truck has been, let's make sure they never hear this, but it's been 110 going to Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Both ways.
That being said, if you do get caught by this thing, you're going to regret every decision you ever made that led up to that point, because if this thing hits you, you're not getting back up. You're staying in that ditch. So, this is hot.
If you're going to run from police, you kind of deserve to be in the ditch anyway, so just take your punishment like a man at that point.
Basically. I do hope that some of the tech in this makes its way into, like, a consumer... I could see a consumer version of this as, like, a I don't know, off-road activities vehicle. You got the beefed up electrical system so you can run like campsite electronics. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Looks standard, but actually I kind of like the look of it.
They have a version of this truck with better gearing already. It's like the top end model of these trucks, and yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
effectively this with all the goodies.
And I'm sure there's going to be some either like better funded police departments or specialty mod shops that are going to take this thing and are going to absolutely soup it up. That front grille arrangement, I hate it on most vehicles. It actually works on the Ram because bulky and imposing is what you want out of this thing. Not much else to say other than if you're in Michigan, have a look out for these things on the road. You got anything?
Not really. I mean, like I said, it's a standard Ram with the reinforced chassis and frame so that they could catch bad guys.
Good to see.
It's simple. It is sexy. I like that they're bringing back because they've, rural areas here in Texas do use 1500s, like the Dodge Ram 1500s as police trucks. They've already been in wide circulation, but
Yep.
seeing these would be terrifying because these things stand tall. They're like 11 feet tall.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. All
Not
right.
11, but they're tall.
Okay. Regardless. Moving on. Porsche has a new version of the GT3, the 911 GT3. Apologies for the ads. Motor 1 makes you turn them on, which is annoying. And this is interesting. They took the GT3 and they made it a convertible. It's only available in stick. So I'm not sure who they're marketing this to. And I'll explain that if you want to go into your take on this first.
So, honestly, I think I know who they're marketing to. They're marketing to people that have enough money to bypass the starter stuff, but still want a cool stick car. This is perfect for that middle of the range. Like, you have enough money to bypass the 718, the Carreras, and all that shit, and you want something a little bit faster. This is who that's for.
Yeah.
It's like middle of the range Porsche.
I can see that. $250,000. Yeah.
It's for people that are graduating from like the M4s.
Yeah. I like the GT3s, and I would own a GT3 if I had the money for it, if I had fuck you money, and also if I had the like track time and driving skill to properly handle one. Because the problem is that because it's a $250,000 Porsche and it's about as close as you can get to a turnkey race car while still remaining street legal, they're bought by rich dickheads that drive them, brag about driving a race car and then drive them around with all the electronic assists on all the way and still end up wrecking them. And my first thought when I looked at this, because it's a convertible, the whole point of the GT3 is you take a 911, you strip everything out, and you tune the engine up. And this is adding onto it. It's building onto it in the form of the retractable soft top. And so it looked like a GT3 that was marketed more for that casual crowd that don't buy these as actual performance track cars. They buy them because they're rich assholes and they want to show off for their rich asshole buddies. But then it's kind of like it's stick only, and those people only drive PDKs. So you might be correct. They might be trying to carve out that new market niche that's a little bit, I guess, more interested in sports cars and less interested in showing off to other rich assholes.
You know what they might also be doing? They might also be gauging people's reaction to having a stick-only car. If these are popular, they may start putting them into the higher-end models again.
That is true. A lot of manufacturers are doing that, so that doesn't shock me. This is kind of
It's a good-looking car.
It's a very good look. I mean, the GT3s are gorgeous. It's kind of a weird year for motoring now that I think about it, because we're
really
seeing a lot of the trends in really in motoring in general really reverse. I mean, all the, electrification BS is going away. We're moving back to, big block V8s. I wouldn't be surprised if, Ford is like, okay, here's our next V8. It's made out of cast iron, you know. And for the longest time, manuals were declining and sports cars were going away. And now you have manufacturers who are like, here's a new sports car, here's a new sports car, here's a new sports car, and they've all got manuals. And now you've got even cars that are now manual only. The car market's it's almost like we hit kind of that tipping point where there was because the consumer demand for fun sports cars is really unchanged, but it was less and less and less served, and it finally hit that critical point where it's like we can make dedicated consumer sports cars again, as opposed to just, making the same generic slop and then, oh, here's our performance, quote unquote, performance trim of it. And now we're seeing dedicated sports cars again. And this, you may be right, represents kind of the next, another step in that direction. And 911 GT3s, it looks gorgeous. And I love those headlights.
This is a California and Miami model. This is going to be one of those cars where it's like, I don't own a GT3 RS, but I do own a drop top Porsche that I can take to the beach, and it's manual. So I have that going for me.
Yeah.
It's one of those daily drivers for people that actually like to drive instead of the people that are just like, oh, I'm on my way to work. Whatever works.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this interior is that seat pattern. That seat pattern is a little vulgar, but then again, you can have your GT3 however you want it if you pay them enough money.
That's going to be a spec option.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that's going to be a spec option. These cars, once you start being allowed to spec them, from factory, I mean, they're all going to come with manuals, but I think those seats are going to have options for their regular seats, and then they're also going to be potentially the fucking, you can get them out of the RS or this or that or all kinds of shit. Basically, it's just going to be a build your own.
I know that clock is a spec option. I love this interior. I really wish that those were like mechanical needles on a electronic gauge display. I suspect that's not what's going on, and those are just simulated mechanical needles.
I suspect that's completely simulated as well, because that's pretty typical for higher end brands now.
Yeah, although
especially the Germans are really bad about it. Everything is fucking.
Although the new Ferrari, which I showed you last episode, that's what I want to see. Because And what I can't believe manufacturers aren't doing, and what I wish they would, is why don't you let me customize these gauge faces? It's a digital display. Let me change the look of them beyond maybe a couple of preset options. Because I know in both my cars, because they got fully mechanical gauges, I have to actually take the whole unit out and open it up to change the gauge. I think on the Subi, it's like I can put like stickers on it. On the 8.6, you straight up like have to change like the whole individual units. It's interesting, but love the look of that shifter. That wonderful 6-speed. I mean, it's a gorgeous car.
And it's got a storage space behind the fucking seats too.
The only problem
I'm glad that it didn't try to come with back seats, because that's not an attempt at back seats. That's literally just storage space.
Yeah, you can maybe use them at bench seats at low speed if there's no cops around. The only problem is it's like $275,000 plus options, so I can't afford one, and that makes me kind of sad.
So actually, I was kind of expecting the price to be closer to like 90 to 150 between there. So who are they selling this to exactly?
Well, I mean, that's about...
You're actually right.
That's about the price of the base GT3, I think.
I believe until like last year, they were still selling RSs with fucking manuals, and then these last few, they just stopped. If I remember correctly, I can look it up.
It comes with the watch, I think. Actually...
Oh. Okay, so the 992 generations don't come with manuals anymore.
How much is the GT3? build your Porsche from 235. Okay, so it's 40 grand more than a base GT3. Interesting. Well, I'll just have to stick with my Porsche. Two O's.
The poor man's Porsche.
I mean, like, a lot of people graduate out of 86s into, like, Taycans or, yeah, such wise anyways. It's kind of the perfect entry-level sports car, so.
The Taycan is a $200,000 four-door electric car.
Not the Taycan. What's the one with the boxer?
The Carrera.
Doesn't the Cayman have a boxer too?
The 718 Caymans and Carreras, yeah.
Yeah, because I know the guy I bought my 86 off of, he got one of those, and that's why he was selling the 86. It's because he wanted boxer sports car, but faster, and he didn't want to go through the trouble putting a supercharger in it.
Yeah, you know the reason why people have such a hard time driving these is because it's the only one with an engine set up like this. The engine is so far back that if you don't stay on the throttle through turns, you're basically a dead person. If you get off of it at all, the entire back end just goes whoop, like immediately.
Fun.
That's
though.
why they were called Widowmakers. It's the exact same almost design as the car that was labeled the Widowmaker, which was the original GT2s back in, like, I think the 70s.
I thought
the cars are almost the exact same.
There's been a lot of cars. When I hear Widowmaker, the context. Well, when I hear Widowmaker, the first thing I think of is the F-104 Starfighter, which is called the Widowmaker because the Germans didn't know how to fly it. But I also, in terms of cars, I think of the original Dodge Viper.
The Vipers,
yeah,
those were killers. But yeah, the original Porsche GT2s were colloquially named Widowmaker as well. I could see the case for the Vipers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more people knew that those Vipers were going to be dangerous. More people thought that Porsches were just going to be, like, very fast and easy to use.
Oh, the Viper was a car made to scare the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, the Viper's entire aim is to kill you. It has no electronic safeties or anything.
The Viper died because Dodge, faced with having no choice but to put safety features in it, decided they'd rather kill the car than compromise the design by putting safety. and everyone's like, "Oh, they need to bring back the Viper." It's like, no.
No, the moment the EPA and the safety regulations are out of the way, they'll bring back the Viper.
The point of the Viper is that it kills you. It just fucking kills you. If you make any mistakes, you just get eviscerated. You have like a fighter pilot crash. That's the point of it. It is the most terrifying goddamn thing on the road. But anyways, I think we've strayed, so I will move on to another really cool question mark, mid-engine question mark, or is it front engine? I don't know the Silvia.
The original one was front engine. I'm hoping that they stay as close as possible.
Yeah.
So we were actually just talking about cars where they're coming back with them and they're actually doing the right thing. This I'm really hoping this is one of them, because if it ends up another Prelude, but they do that to the Silvia name.
Yeah.
The Prelude was a niche car. The Silvia's famous.
Yes.
If they fuck that up, it's going to be very hard to explain.
So this is not the Silvia coming back. It's the new guy at, what is this, Nissan. Again, I don't know the Silvia. I should know Japanese cars better, but I don't.
This is the S15. This is the last version of the S line.
This is the new head honcho at Nissan saying that he wants to bring it back, and I hope he does. Interesting to me that for the most part, aside from like Toyota, and even then only with like the GT3, or the GRGT and GRGT3, really nobody's like making a new sports car. It's all bringing back the old ones, which I'm not opposed to, but it just interests me that they're just like, yeah, let's bring back the old one. But
there's been a history as of the 2000s through now, where every time they try to start a new line of cars, it fails.
Like, I think it's because these cars, for the most part, weren't like super huge when they came out. I mean, the reason why a lot of these cars, the Silvia, the Supra, the original Godzilla, the kind of the original 8.6, became the cult classics they are, is because they were Japan only, or mostly Japan only, and like rabid American enthusiasts imported them for a variety of reasons. And they built a cult following. And what happens is these manufacturers, now they come out with new cars and they expect them to have that same cult following that those cars took years or decades to build when they first came out, and they're disappointed when the sales are middling. They don't have the will to like carry them forward and use them as loss leaders for a couple years.
Well, and you own a car that's exactly like that.
Yes, we both.
The Baja was like this crazy attempt. It wasn't even crazy. It was just, hey, let's make a 4-door Ute and have the Subaru badging. The problem is they barely made any of them.
Mm-hmm.
They made it good but not great. And then they used so many parts out of the Legacy, they were just like, we don't need to make our own book for this thing. We'll just use Legacy parts. It's fine.
In Subaru's actual like database, and I know this because I buy parts for that the from a Subi dealership. The last eight of the VIN comes back as an 05 Legacy, and I get a kick out of that every time. Yeah, I mean that car, it wasn't even a revival of the Brat. It was like they knew it wasn't going to sell very well, but the problem was in the mid-aughts, Subi was not doing great, and they just couldn't keep selling them. They had to pull the plug because between the Baja and the Tribeca, they nearly killed the company. But anyways, which is ironic because now that I rallycross that thing, they were cooking with that car. They just didn't know it yet. But speaking of cooking, I hope they do. I hope they bring back the Silvia. I also hope, and again, Subaru, Toyota, Nissan, look at Honda, point, and laugh. But don't do what they did. Do not.
Don't make the same fucking mistakes. Don't look at me in the eye, assholes. Don't make the same mistake. And Honda, fix your bullshit next year.
I want every CEO of these companies, even you were so fired up it crashed the camera. You're down on my stream. Okay, well that was so exuberant it crashed my internet, but we're back. So, where were we?
To complete my thought real quick, Honda, seriously, you want to fix the Prelude? Here's what you do, okay? The 4th gen Prelude was all-wheel drive. If you have any fucking concept of bringing back the S2000, which was something we could have talked about today, but it was just speculation, and I'm going to wait until it's not so speculation to talk about it. If you have any chance of if you want to bring that back, that's going to be rear-wheel drive. So 4th gen Prelude was all-wheel drive. 300 horsepower, the fucking Civic motor, out of the last generation Civic fucking Type R's, exactly. 300 horsepower all-wheel drive car. And only manuals. You want to fix the Prelude? Fucking fix it. Don't make it a disappointment to everybody, you fucking sellouts. Anyway, we can go now.
And for all the other auto manufacturers, all the other CEOs, buy a 5th gen Prelude, drive it until you understand what's wrong with it, and then tear it apart until you further understand what's wrong with it, and then do none of that. Use it as an example of what not to do. And if they do that, the Silvia might work.
Editor's note: the newest generation Prelude is the 6th generation. I have a 5th, and then the 4th before it had an option, I think, for all-wheel. Yeah.
So, I hope they bring back Silvia, and I hope they don't fuck it up. But I mean, then again, like, there's not a ton of worry about them fucking it up because the 6th gen Prelude kind of feels like a one-off fuck up. It really does feel like all the other manufacturers learned from Honda's mistake, because I haven't seen any of the other kind of fuckery in any of the other things they're bringing forward. Like, you're not seeing Toyota going, hey, here's the MR2, it's a hybrid crossover, shit like that.
Yeah. Although we did do a story last week of the Camaro possibly coming back as a fucking hybrid crossover, which angered me.
Now we've got another story about the Camaro
now we've got another,
possibly coming back.
Yeah.
So we're on a roll with Camaro speculation. So this article, I should preface before anybody gets overly excited. There's a genre of articles that I'm familiar with as an owner, not just an owner, an enthusiast for the classic Subaru Baja, the little ute that they made for 4 years that nobody bought. I get people, whenever I talk about owning a Baja, I will get about half the people talk about will go, oh, have you heard? They're bringing back a new one in 2026 or 2025 or 2024, because I've had this for a little while. They're not. Those articles, it's all the same. It's like hype clickbait titles, and they write like some little thing for SEO so that you look up like 2026 Subaru Baja or whatever, and it's like, yes, they're bringing it back. And then you read the article and it's like, if they were to bring it back, here's what it might look like. This article is kind of in a similar vein. So where we're at right now is Chevy has said they are working on a sports car. We don't know what it is. We don't know if
it has been claimed.
It's been claimed.
So GM Insider or whatever the fucking outlet is has claimed that insiders inside GM have let them know that yes, it's in the works. This could be two things. This could be the engineers. Well, it could be three things. It could be the engineers want it to be a thing, so they're saying it so that maybe they force the hand of somebody higher up. It could also be that they're just trying to pump Chevy stocks a little bit. Hey, look at this in the future. Try to keep us alive until then, and then we can get you a good car again. And it could also be just damage control.
Yeah.
Or just straight up fabrication.
So when Car and Driver says an American icon will return with an optional V8, what they mean is if it came back, it might look like this. We suspect, we have some evidence to suggest that Chevy is working on a sports car, which may be the Camaro. But everything past this point is speculation. And with that disclaimer out of the way, let us engage in some rampant speculation, because we're enthusiasts. I hope they do. I hope this is true. I hope we get the Camaro back, because, I mean, American muscle cars have always been a trio. Mustang, Charger, Camaro. It's just not the same with only two. You can't turn a trio into a duet. So we need another competitor. We need some. I mean, as the Japanese are bringing back their classic sports cars, the Germans are doing the same thing the Germans have always done. They really never stopped. It's time now for America, for the 250th birthday of this country, to bring back the classic muscle car. Yeah,
Bald eagles and bullets. I'm sorry, but that's what the car market in America needs to be: bald eagles and bullets. God damn it.
Yep.
Just fucking keep it going forever. America all the way, just never stop.
Yeah. They're talking about they suspect it'll run on the same platform as the CT4 and CT5, which are solid platforms. Those would be a good platform to build a Camaro off of. I like all the preview images show like a 2-door coupe. Aren't Camaros typically 4-door?
No, the Camaro's always been 2-door.
Okay.
So last week, the article we looked at, they thought that maybe, because there was speculation that the Camaro was going to try to make a comeback as a 4-door half, like midsize SUV. And so I think that's where you may
have
brain may be going right now.
Yep. They say that the platform's set up for an FR layout, which would work for the Camaro. Hopefully a more like drag straight line focused rather than trying to make it maneuverable. Oh, having an all-wheel drive option next Camaro will likely help boost sales in areas with cold weather climates. Nobody who
So
lives...
Challengers actually do this.
Challengers do this, yes. However, nobody in rural Maine or like Eastern Washington is going to buy a Camaro to drive it in the depths of winter. Because Subarus already exist, and they're already just the best at it.
Normally you'd be right, but I have a bunch of friends in like Colorado and stuff that's slightly more south, where it's warm. It's warm as much as it's cold, and I do know a couple people with the all-wheel drive Chargers and Challengers for winter weather. So it is a thing. I think they only come in V6s, but people will buy them. It's probably not the biggest market though.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I'll believe it when I see it. Just, not that I don't doubt that they do it. It's just, they probably do it not because it's competitive, but because it's neat and interesting. And don't get me wrong, it's a good reason to do that. But that's inherently a niche market of people who are like, fuck it. I'm gonna take an all-wheel drive, Camaro or Charger and drive it in the depths of winter just for shits and giggles. Like, people drive all sorts of shit.
It's the people that bought a very specific car, and it just happened to come like that.
Yeah,
and that's what they needed for the area they were in. So V6 all-wheel drive Challenger works in snow.
Putting an all-wheel drive, you're not going to sell more muscle cars in cold climates because they have all-wheel drive. That's not... Nobody who lives in a cold weather climate buys a muscle... is going to be swayed into buying a muscle car by the presence of all-wheel drive. They're either going to buy it or they're not going to buy it.
I also don't think they make enough of these inventory for them to really care about the upkeep. So it's they probably haven't done much R&D with it, and it's probably expensive to fix.
Yeah. Where this article, I think, is more accurate, if this is in the works, is that they think it would come with either a turbocharged inline 4 or an optional V8. That's probably the case. Maybe they'll have a V6 intermediate, because that seems to be what the big three are doing for their muscle cars nowadays. Is you have the economy model turbo inline 4 for people who want an economy muscle car. They exist. I don't know why. You have the big block V8 for the people who actually want a muscle car, and you have the V6 for people who actually want a muscle car, but who either don't have enough money for the V8 or who want to turbocharge it and put a lot of power through it. Because from what limited digging I've done, I think the V6s take power additions more than the V8s, or better than the V8s.
My understanding is the V6s were mostly just made to be more compliant with EPA and stuff, so they could keep making the V8 models. So I could actually see those being phased out if they've gotten the turbo inline 4s or whatever to the point where they can fucking use them.
10
for
speed
a car that heavy.
10 speed automatic, god, I hope not. 8 speed
That's what the Mustangs have.
Yeah, and it sucks. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
If you're not doing pulls from a stoplight, the 10 speed sucks. And if they don't want this thing to just be a Mustang clone where it's a race to the bottom in terms of price, they'll offer it with they'll offer the automatic with maybe an 8 speed at most, and tune it better for track use, because that 10 speed, I mean, if you're doing pulls, it's perfect, it's wonderful, it's beautiful. If you're tracking it, it's flipping through the gears like a Rolodex, trying to figure out where the hell it wants to be. 10's too many. 8 is about on the high end of what you want. And then 6-speed manual, if they're smart, if they're bringing this back and they're doing it intelligently, they'll put a 6-speed manual in it. Although the Blackwing has it, so there's hope.
If they put a Blackwing engine in it, that's going to be one fast-ass car. So, as far as two-door sports cars go, Camaro actually had it for a little bit. So, if I remember correctly, the order was that Camaro and Mustang were racing a little bit, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really Shelby doing the racing on Ford's behalf. But they made the GT350, but that was still not that. I believe that was still a naturally aspirated car that you
Mm-hmm.
could put a bunch of power to and then supercharge. The first supercharged of the big three was actually the Camaro. That was what the ZL1s were.
Mm-hmm.
They put this big ass fucking displacement engine in and then threw a giant ass supercharger on it, and it was the ZL1, and then they later made the ZL1 1LE, which was the track pack with the big ass wing and all that shit. And then after that, the Hellcat came out to try to beat it, and then so did the GT500. But Camaro actually had it first when it came to the big engines. They
Mm-hmm.
never tried to keep up after everybody came out with theirs, but they were the first to it.
Yeah.
So I would like to see the Camaro come back. I think they're cool.
I mean, hey, they're still making Transformers movies, so they might.
Did you actually, a little bit of a tangent, did you actually hear that there's a possibility that Shia LaBeouf and Michael Bay are going to try to get together and make another Transformers?
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't shock me at all.
I,
Hopefully, what we see is we see a full series reboot with the new Camaro. That'd be kick-ass. I'm sorry. I gotta rewatch Transformers.
yeah, me too. Only like the first three, I
Yeah,
think. Everything after that's kind of
it's a trilogy. It's not anything more than that.
everything
But
after that's kind of a race to the bottom.
basically, but I mean, the first couple were pretty good. So yeah, I mean, this article's mostly hot air and nothingness, but there's some interesting speculation here. Hopefully, this comes true.
And as long as we know it's speculation, you and me can just speculate for
Yeah.
fucking ever. So
Yeah, it's
this
fun.
is shit we could talk about all day.
It's fun to think. Speaking of vaporware and hot air, this is your thing because I'm not tracking this. So go on.
So I was looking for stories and this came up. So apparently Dodge and Ram, I don't have an Instagram. Actually, I do, but I never use it. So Dodge and Ram apparently, whoever's running their official Instagram account they have the licenses to stock photos and like old photos of every single vehicle they've ever made. That includes everything in this fucking article. Why in the hell were there AI generated images being posted on their official for like their fucking, hey, look at what we used to make kind of posts? And that's what this article's about.
I do have an Instagram, by the way. Subi Truck. Subi Truck. That's SUBITRUCK with an underscore. Follow me. I post pictures of my cars.
Figure out one.
Yeah. This whole thing baffles me. It baffles me that the story initially baffles me because I wasn't tracking this at all, and it baffles me the story exists, and it baffles me that, as you say, you're a car manufacturer. Why are you using AI? Just go down to your production floor with like a cell phone, snap some pics, put them up.
Well, and every vehicle that's ever been sold by a manufacturer should have a immaculate version in a fucking warehouse somewhere anyway for use like this.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Let's look at some of this shit. No. Screw off. All right.
Why would you make a fucking... By the way, why would anybody use AI to recreate a Dodge Neon?
I actually like the neons. I saw a neon SRT4 this last weekend. God, those things are nice. Yeah, those wheels are off. That's not right. I don't think that's balanced very well. I mean, it's not half bad AI. You really have to get down to the details, but it just looks off. There's this uncanny valley thing going, and again,
the door trim on the Viper is obviously fucked up.
Yeah,
at least to my view.
The door just goes in. Why any of this? This is ugly. Why?
Okay, the car is very ugly. The truck behind it is beautiful to me. It's still AI slop trash, but the real versions are nice.
I don't. Again, and I would be interested to see if they come out with like an explanation for this or something, because why are you AIing your fucking car company? Just take your own pictures.
It's everyone but the CEO of Stellantis. The current CEO, is the one that brought back Ram with all the V8s and everything, and made a promise to bring back everything exciting to Ram and Dodge. And his last name is Kuniskis. So it's Kuniskis doing things right, and everybody else at the entire company trying to undermine him every chance they get, even if accidentally. This is what this is.
I love this.
I mean, realistically,
how are you gonna make an AI neon when y'all actually made neons?
Yeah, right.
Like,
replaced the social media department with AI, huh?
Oh, the marketing intern got a co-pilot license. I love that one. The two vehicles in the shared image are from Product Correct Photography. Are they from Product Correct Photography, or did you run Product Correct Photography through an AI model? The AI generated background unfortunately distorted some vehicle features.
No, the fucking intern had a runny nose that day and just decided to use a shortcut is what happened.
Lame excuses. Details matter and we'll do better. If details mattered, your shit wouldn't be constantly breaking down. Details haven't mattered to Dodge for a while. The actual Dodge Neon looks a lot better than whatever the fuck that is. I mean, at least we can tell it's trying to be a neon.
You can tell it's trying to be a neon, but like the fucking lights aren't high enough on that. The no hood scoop.
The back, like everything up to about here is a neon, and then the front, it's like almost an S15 if it fucked an Impreza. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I mean, I love they post the actual cars next to the AI slot, because it's like, yeah, no. Product Correct Photography in your fucking dreams, idiots. I don't get why you wouldn't. I don't get these lame excuses. Why wouldn't you just say, yeah, hand to heart, we got lazy. We're sorry for getting lazy. That was stupid of us.
Well, and actually, you can tell the fucking, so the back window doesn't come up far enough on the Viper there.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously lower than the front windshield, and that's not the case on the actual one.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake from God, is what that last car is. I'm sorry.
What even is
Nobody
that?
should ever make car. I don't remember exactly what that is. It's like I said, it's a mistake from God that I'm glad Dodge doesn't try to make anymore.
So, more of a baffling article than anything else. Why?
Oh, these fuckers got ratioed for this too, according to the comments.
Why did they do this? And why did they try and, like, do damage control for this? I mean, hell, I can think of a couple ways that you could spin this into a marketing gimmick. You know, you post the AI slop, and when people call you out for it, you go, you know, our vehicle designs are so classic and so embedded in everyone's minds that you can immediately tell when something's not right. Here's the real one. Here's the real deal. Go down to your local Ram dealer if you want these gorgeous models. Like, you can turn this shit around. This whole situation is just bafflingly stupid. Like,
so marketing majors are the laziest peoples on the planet, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. They like the people that go through school for marketing now have no.
Are you fucking kidding me? All right. So moving on from that baffling thing to something that's actually real. The Ram Dakota. Oh, yes. Take it away, because I don't...
So these, this is, the Dakota is Ram's half-size or mid-size truck. It's the class between an SUV and a like actual full-size truck. So it's, truck, it's like a Tacoma size truck, effectively. These were discontinued the last time in 2011, and that'll actually have been the last time that all three major brands, so Chevy, GM, and Ford and Dodge, have all made a mid-size truck since 2011, which is big. So we're actually going to have full competition in the half-size truck market from the American manufacturers for once. I honestly think this is a good thing. I think they need to. The Colorados have been a big hit. They made engines for them. They're good. They're great vehicles. The what's the Chevy version? The Chevy is the Colorado, and then the Ford was the Ranger, and they made performance models of that. So I'm really looking. I don't think the Dakota has ever actually had a performance model version of it. So if they can get that going,
hopefully,
I think we'll actually have full competition in the the Tacoma's not going to be the reigning champion anymore of the mid-size market.
Yeah. It's good to see trucks kind of start to come down in size, and I think the rolling back of the CAFE regulations is why we're starting to see this. More and more of these like light mid-sized trucks kind of filling that niche of like, you live out maybe semi-rural, maybe suburban, you want something you can haul stuff around for like home improvement or being handy, or maybe you want to tow a camper, but you don't want a massive crew cab with a 7-foot bed. You don't need that. It's too expensive.
That can go on back roads.
Yeah.
And has, a bed and usefulness, but also something fun. And I think that's where the mid-size trucks really come in.
Yeah. I mean, depending upon what direction this trend goes, you could see an American ute market opening up.
So
I'll believe when I see it.
This is also something that there was another story that I was looking at for today that didn't end up making it, but we can just add it to this one. So Dodge is actually trying to fill. They have realized there's a big gap in the market for performance cars. And I think it extends to stuff like this too, because they're saying this will start at 40-ish, but the Ford Ranger start at 35. So they could get lower, but Dodge has officially stated that it's seeing a performance car gap at about $30,000.
Yeah.
So I think this could be a start towards that, just to see if they can get in the door at that lower price range, and then they might start trying to make stuff that fits in there, which will be cool.
Yes. More trucks is always good. Kind of bringing down a lot of the bloat in automobiles is good. Makes the road safer, more fun to drive on, and cars have been getting more and more and more expensive, and shit's just kind of been spiraling, and it's good to, if they say, the Ranger, they say is $35K, they're targeting around $40K for this. If they can make an entry-level base model that's like 32 to 35, that'll be perfect.
Yeah, so, it'll be a really good middle ground.
Looking forward to more details on this, because it doesn't seem like we have a lot of actual detail in the vehicle, just we know it's going to be there. Probably coming out mid to late next year, or possibly 28, I'd guess.
I think the size trucks, like the full-size trucks are now, like the 1500, 2500, 3500 classes, I think they just keep them that size.
Yeah.
Because everyone's used to it now. But they did need something between the 1500 and a car. And I think if we can have mid-size trucks come back, make a full comeback, and just now take that space permanently, that'll be nice. What we don't need to do is we don't need all the regular trucks to keep getting bigger anymore, because seriously, they're getting to the size of like work truck, like actual hardcore work stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for the uninitiated, which includes me because I'm not a I'm not a truck guy, as you can tell by the fact that I own a Subaru Baja.
Okay, take the Ram 3500. See if you can find the 35.
So
Type in Dodge.
Well, I'll pull up Ram. They've just got Ram.
Yeah, for car 2, try typing in Dodge. I think it'll be probably count that as it. No, maybe not. Okay, we need an older truck. Try, yeah.
So okay, so they do count like the 1500s as such. Older truck, or even let me see if I can pull up the Ford Ranger actually. Yeah.
This is just mid-size trucks.
Yes. There you go.
That's just mid-size trucks. It's gotten more ridiculous. I'm not kidding when I say I think that if you took a 3500 from 10 years ago and a 3500 for today, just Ram, it's adding an extra 50% to the size over the course of 10 years. It's a huge difference.
I mean, not to, toot my own horn or anything, but, and actually, I have a fun fact about this. So, oh, yeah. Look at the shit. And this thing is not like, it's not a super small car. It's about average sized, I'd say. So, yeah.
No, I've been in a Baja before. They're,
yeah.
They're decently roomy up front.
The Ranger is what counts as, like, when the Ranger came out, the new Ranger came out, we were heralding it as, oh, it's finally an end to, like, bloated big trucks. Like,
so the current Rangers are the size of the 10 years ago Ram 1500s.
I have a fun side note, by the way. The Baja in the image here is my Baja. I submitted this image to this site. That is my car on this site.
Nice.
Yes. So
okay, so I'm gonna need to wait. Can you go back to that site and see if they have a Prelude on there? Because if they don't, then I'm gonna have to submit an image.
They might have one of the older ones. Yep, they've got 3 generations.
The two-door coupe. No, that's not mine. Neither of those are mine. That's disappointing. Yeah, they don't have the 5th gen, so I'll have to change that.
Yep.
That's the 4th gen.
So, I mean, it's not as small. I mean, I'm not even going to say not as small as we would like, because I will say I don't know how to feel about it. A lot of these quote-unquote mid-sized trucks, I would argue, are about as big as trucks should be before we move from consumer vehicles to commercial vehicles. But in as much as we have the car market we have right now, it is good to have stuff. It's good to be trending more towards smaller things. It's good also to see consumers being a little bit more circumspect in what they purchase. And I think a big part of that is just the explosion of new car prices ever since 2020. And hopefully this can start reining some of that back in, and we can start seeing more mid-sized trucks. We can start seeing more Utes like the Baja, the Brat, and the El Camino. We can start seeing sedans come back in a big way and becoming the new standard, rather than every soccer mom with 2 kids buying an Escalade because you need more rows than you have kids, because otherwise how will you fit the car seats? Like shit like that. Hopefully we're moving away from that, and this is hopefully another step in the right direction.
Oh no, you buy 3 rows because if you have 2 kids, you want them each to have their own row so they can't fucking bite each other constantly. That's how that works.
I grew up in a 98 Elantra.
I grew up in a 2001 Honda Odyssey.
Actually, we had a 98 Elantra. The one I'm thinking of is the 04. This thing. I keep seeing these around town from time to time. You can find them on Marketplace for like $500 because nobody wants them.
I wonder fucking why.
Nobody, not every car that's 20 years old is a classic. They're not bad cars, aside from transmission issues an engine issue. They're like somehow a less popular version of the Nissan Altima.
You went to defend this car because it was part of your childhood and then realized, wait, shit, there are no redeeming features to this.
There are people out there that actually want Nissan Altimas. I don't know why anyone buys these. It's not that they're bad cars, it's just nobody wants them. I kind of want to get one. If I had the space for it, I would get one and I would restore it, and maybe I'd put like collector plates on it and never drive it. Like, drive it occasionally. I might. There's the local Porsche Owners Club has a Concorde Elegance on a rate. They have a couple of them through the year, and they make the mistake of having a separate lot, like, bring anything. This is the car that I would bring to, like, the snootiest, most stuck-up, like, European car club, Concorde Elegance. And I wouldn't just keep it shit. Like, I would genuinely, like, restore it and make it clean and immaculate, but I would park this thing right on the Concorde and dare anyone to come up and ask me about it. I would memorize every fact there is to know about this piece of shit car just to throw them.
So you're just spiteful of fucking snooty assholes. Which is totally
I
fair.
am an agent of chaos, and I believe in nothing but the churn. Tonight I'm gonna go on Marketplace, and I'm not gonna buy one of these, but I'm gonna think about it. Someday I'm gonna buy one of these. Someday when I'm like 60 years old and I'm setting up my car collection for museum because I've only got 20 years left and I'm not driving many of them anyways, this fucker goes on a pedestal in the car museum, kind of like the LeMay Car Museum of Tacoma. This fucker goes on a pedestal in a car museum for no reason other than so that it does not go silently into the night. It is remembered for no reason other than nobody wants to remember it.
And then when you finally get tired of this car, we're going to take it to Alaska and use it for Alaskan 4th of July, where they throw cars off cliffs.
No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to make this car everyone else's problem for the rest of time.
No!
This car will be remembered for no reason other than me. It will be on a pedestal and there will be a plaque. This is the only surviving Hyundai Elantra, 2004 Hyundai Elantra ever, and it only exists because this one person wanted it to. Not because he liked it, not because he enjoyed it, but because he wanted it to exist.
What a way to spite humanity.
I am a nice person. I am a kind person. I try to be a good person. This is my one and only sole middle finger to existence, is keeping the 2004 Hyundai Elantra in everyone's awareness. It will not be forgotten because of me. Moving on to cars that I will have no problem making sure nobody forgets. The ZR1X. Holy shit!
So people are making a huge deal about this right now because it is now the quickest car ever, production car. So 0 to 60, 1.68 seconds.
Yes.
Hits 60 miles an hour, less than 100 feet. And the big claim everybody is making right now is that it's faster than a Bugatti. Now, I will get to that in a minute, but this is very impressive. This is America being America. This is America, but we grew balls first.
I know what this is.
Because for the last couple of years, we haven't had them.
I know what this is. The Europeans like to pretend that they own motorsports. They like to pretend like they're the only people that do it. They're the only people that own it, and we kind of, sleep at the wheel in international motorsports because we have our own thing going. It's kind of like in soccer, right? America doesn't do mid in international soccer because we can't produce good soccer players. We do it mid in international soccer because we don't care. We've got football, we've got baseball. Who gives a shit? It's kind of the same thing. We have a healthy club racing scene, and we have NASCAR. We don't need to produce amazing F1 drivers. We
also have Formula Drift.
Yeah, we don't need to. We also have IndyCar. We don't need to kick ass in, like, you know, in WRC and F1 or whatever, because we have NASCAR, which, I'm sorry, everyone that has gone from F1 to NASCAR has said that NASCAR is harder. We have our own rally scene. We don't talk about it, but it's there. We have IndyCar, which is like F1, but it isn't like rules lawyered to death. And so for the most part, the Europeans can pretend that they own motorsports, and we can ignore them. But about every decade or so, the Europeans cross some line, or we start to notice what's up, and we go out there and we prove that if we wanted to and if we cared, son of a bitch. But every decade we go and we prove that if we wanted to and if we cared, we would utterly dominate global motorsport to a point where we'd shut basically everybody out. And then we go back to not giving a shit again. Which has been proven. We did it in the 60s. Ford v. Ferrari. Ferrari, you know, Enzo Ferrari did what he did best. Pissed off a rival automaker. That's about the only thing he was good at, was pissing people off so they made better shit than he did. I stand by that. I think Ferrari's overhyped, and I hate their business practices. But anyways,
I hate their business practices. I think there are certainly nice Ferraris, but not all of them.
We went out and we built cars that kicked their ass at Le Mans, their own backyard. And then we were like, all right, we're done with this shit. Moving on. There's a couple other examples you can pull up from motoring history. This is the latest example of that, and it comes in time for America's 250th. The Europeans were all high and mighty with, we're building the fastest cars in the world. The fastest cars come from Volkswagen and Ferrari and blah, 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 blah. And then we're like, we kind of invented motor racing. So here's how it's done. And in 2 or 3 years, we're going to go back to not giving a shit. And some Euro company is going to come out with something faster. And we're not going to care anymore. But for a brief moment, we proved we could. And that's this car.
More recent examples of this are actually, so NASCAR, Chevy sent one of their NASCARs to Le Mans one year. And it was in its own class because everybody thought it was going to be taking up the line. And there are photos of this thing so far up Ferrari's ass that Ferrari was blinking. So we constantly do prove them wrong. And this is just another, you're right. Ferrari has a long history. But I will say that this claim, Bugatti should be really disappointed in itself. It's faster than the fucking tourbillon or whatever. No one over there actually gives a shit, because here's the truth of the matter. As much as I love, like, I still don't think this car should have the Corvette name. I'm gonna fucking die on that hill. You can't fucking make me think otherwise. It should be called something else. It is now the quickest thing on earth. It's not the fastest, and that's the game that Bugatti and Koenigsegg are both playing right now. They don't care about who's the quickest. They want top speed. Both of those guys, Christian von Koenigsegg, there was actually a video recently where they were testing each other's cars out with the maker of like Singer Porsches or whatever. And it's Matt Rimac, Christian von Koenigsegg, and the owner of Singer. And they all had each of their cars and they were driving them for each other. And Matt and Christian literally started a conversation while Singer was out testing one of the cars. They're just going back and forth, taking the fucking top speed runs from each other. They do not give a shit about this. Neither of them. This is a fucking, at max $200,000 car. They're selling $4 million cars with the intention of going 300 miles an hour or faster. That is all they care about. they're playing a completely different game. So this whole thing, you can make a lot of things go faster. GTRs are kind of famous for modding the hell out of them. Like GTR owners, mod the hell out of them and then go beat Bugattis. Every YouTuber I've ever seen that has enough money to buy a Bugatti also buys a fucking GTR and then beats the Bugatti with the GTR. It's just a thing that happens. So the people that make those do not care about this. They really don't. This was a fight that everybody is just like, oh, that's the most expensive and fastest car. It's the fastest. It's not the quickest. Quick and fast are two different things. That's why I really don't think this is going to matter to anybody where you want it to. This is going to matter for fucking drag speed things, which is, by the way, almost a purely American thing.
I mean, I'm still going to... you're right. You're entirely right. And I don't disagree with anything of what you're saying. But I'm still going to hold on to the world I want to live in, where this thing is a middle finger to the Europeans.
It is a total middle finger to the Europeans. I believe this thing also tried to break the record on that track in Germany, fucking the Nordschleife.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, let me go see. Has the ZR1X?
What I will say about this thing, though, is that as much as it's not playing the same game as the European hypercars, the fact that it can do all of this and still be, what, $250,000?
Yeah, like, probably. I think it's 200 or under. I don't even think it gets to a quarter.
Yeah. The top tier is $230K. So the fact that you can get all of this for under $250,000 and its competitors are like multi-million-dollar hypercars, that's kind of America being America. That's kind of where America, going back to the roots of muscle cars, where we the Europeans were coming out with these fancy, finely designed, finely engineered things, and what we did is we just stuck a tractor engine in like a 4,500 pound block of steel and went faster than them and sold it for cheaper. Like, this sends eagles flying in my heart, because we can build something that, yeah, maybe we're not playing exactly the same game, but it's not like there's no overlap here, and it's not like this doesn't stand up to hypercars in a lot of, like, practical real-world settings. Because, yeah, the Koenigsegg Giro can go, like, 300 miles an hour or whatever. Is it going to be doing that even on the Autobahn? Right?
No.
It's going to be doing that maybe on, like, a 12-mile oval test track.
You are correct. But here's the point I'm making, though, is the designers of those cars don't care what they're doing on the road. Literally, it's just they make cars to sell so that they can chase their version of what Ferrari was chasing in the 80s. All Ferrari wanted to do was race. He made road cars because he had to make sales to pay for racing. That's exactly what Koenigsegg and Matt Rimac are doing. They are just selling. They're selling them on a much bigger level than Ferrari is, because they're fucking all $2 million, $3 million cars, like, straight from the get. But they literally just sell those so they can try to get the top speed runs. Which is what I'm saying.
I would argue makes the Corvette a better car, because they're actually trying to sell it not just as a car that has a high top speed, but a car that in practical real world settings is faster.
I think from a driver's perspective, you're absolutely right.
On a track is faster, is probably better for the driver, and is cheaper. Like, the Koenigsegg's and Rimacs and high-end Ferraris are being bought by, like, crypto millionaires and oligarchs. This is being bought by retirees and, like, reasonably successful upper middle class people. It's, again, American automotive doing what American automotive does best. Taking that high-end, high-speed power and fun and bringing it maybe not to the masses, but certainly down to a level that the masses can actually aspire to. Because there's no way in hell that I'm ever going to own like a Koenigsegg Agera. And if I had that kind of money, I would probably buy a whole bunch of... I'd spend it on a bunch of other cars rather than just one car.
If I had a Koenigsegg Agera,
I could own.
Or if I had the money to buy one of those, I'd probably end up... There's a couple cars I would buy. One would be super expensive. I want a Lamborghini Murcielago SV Roadster.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would probably buy a bunch of cheap cars that I could just have fun with besides that.
Yeah. So I get that the Euros are playing a different game. With respect to practical real-world motoring enthusiasm and not just numbers chasing, it's kind of a stupid game, at least in my opinion. I think if the argument is that they're just playing a game for like higher and higher top speed numbers, I mean...
There are advancements to be made in that field. They've had to completely redesign tires to get there, but I see what you're saying.
If they're chasing on top speed numbers, with respect, they do that at Bonneville every year.
They do.
You know, wake me up when they build something that they sell to the masses that, in a practical real-world setting, is fast. And this, I think, if you take this up on maybe not the Nürburgring, but you take this up on the Autobahn next to an Agera, it's at the very least keeping up. Because high top speed doesn't matter when you've got another car that's got a somewhat high top speed, relatively speaking, that it's actually reaching. I'll put this better. You know, you have a certain top speed that is achievable by both cars, and this one reaches it faster. In a real world setting, it's going to go faster. It's kind of why I don't really get into dick measuring contests with idiots on the street in trying to do like light to light racing in their Mustangs. Because it's like, that's not super impressive when in that setting. So as far as
I did find the Nuremberg time, it is the quickest American car to ever lap the track, the ZR1X. And then it's slightly faster. The old record for fastest American car was the GTD, the Ford Mustang GTD. Yeah. So the ZR1X had a time of 6:49. The standard ZR1 had 6:50. And then the GTD had 6:52. Now, this actually isn't all that far off. I mean, it's noticeably slower, but the overall fastest time ever on the track was 6:29 at the Mercedes AMG 1. And then getting pretty close, number 3 is the AMG GT Black Series.
If I remember correctly, though, the AMG 1 is disputed because these are production car numbers, and and the Mercedes, I believe, the AMG 1, they set the record and they never sold the car in that configuration. If I remember correctly.
That is also true. So number 2 on that list is also not a production car. I'd say the fastest production car that they sold as configured was the Mercedes AMG 1 GT Black Series, or the AMG GT Black Series. So that's number 3 on the list at 6:48. A second behind that is the ZR1X.
Yeah.
A second. And we're talking when the Viper ran, the typical fastest times on that track were actually 8-minute times. If you could get under 8 minutes, you were considered impressive.
Yeah.
Back when the original Vipers were going
This car is close enough to the fastest production car ever to run the Nürburgring that differences in driver skill could make up that gap. A full second, I mean, that's hard, but it could come down to that on a track that long. So, yeah.
It's really going to come down to it. I think they used an American driver too, and if Mercedes was using people that always are on that fucking track, then of course they're going to get a slightly faster time. They know every corner like the back of their hands. Duh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I see what you're saying in terms of like a lot of the dick swinging around this car has been kind of off base. My point is not to disagree, but to say that there is still valid dick swinging to be made. Maybe
there
not
is valid. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm disputing the idea that fucking Matt Rimac, the owner of Bugatti, should give a shit that this car is quicker than his car. Like I said before, they're chasing something entirely different. And when I say chasing, I mean these are two car guys. The video I watched, those two got into such a crazy conversation that I was like, oh my God, these people are TISM obsessed with top speed. That's what I'm talking about.
They should take that shit to Bonneville. But in terms of production cars, in my eyes, the ZR1X is the king now. America did it again.
America's going to continue to do it. Every time we choose to do it, we end up doing it. So, like, fucking, we've beaten everybody that's come after us twice at the fucking, what is it, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Or Le Mans. We did it with the original Ford GT, and we did it with a fucking NASCAR like a couple years ago.
Okay, comment section is cancer.
But, yep.
Even if it did take 2 turbos and AWD to beat Dodge 170, who cares? So.
Oh, okay, he's gone.
I can still hear you. But I think I will call it here. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, not gonna be running what grinds my gears today, because what grinds my gears is the fact that my internet keeps cutting out. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. I'll see you all next time. Have a good day.